Hey, thanks for coming by the Terrain Lover channel. This time we are building more benchwork. We're building the benches and then we're building some dominoes, putting them on the walls and seeing how all that ties together. We are catching up again. You're watching the video from 2019 into 2020, a progress of about 2 weeks. This video is not too long and it's a combination of photos and videos. It's pretty fast paced. Hope you like it. So let's get going. You would have gotten yourself some plywood and masonite back before you had to sell your kidney to buy some lumber. These are 3-inch wide, 8 feet long strips that were ripped from 8x4 sheets of plywood. You get them sorted out, brought inside, start making L girders, use your nail gun and glue. Add some ends to those L girders and in no time you'll have a nice frame, 8x2. Then you add another cross in the middle to make sure that it's stable and another cross or a number of them to create a spine, then another top cross because the dominoes will fit over it. While you're there, make a couple of more L girder legs and then put them on the top of the bench you've built. Build some feet out of rubber mats and some nuts and bolts. Put those on those short L girders. Obviously you figure out how tall they're going to be. Affix them to the bench and then while you're still at it, make sure everything is nice and square and secure. Then build a nice bench at the bottom so that you can put some stuff and you end up with this. It's a nice looking bench. This one is about 40 something inches off the floor and then the shelf surface below that is probably 6 or 7 inches above the floor. The reason for that is so that you can get underneath with a broom or a mop or something and clean the floor if you need to, but otherwise you have as much storage surface below the bench as you have on top of the bench to put your benchwork, or in our case dominoes, that will follow in the next segment. Then you get yourself bulkheads 11/7/8 square and some stringers, and the top surface you put them together about 12 inches apart. You put the stringers on top, glue and nail, then get the masonite or hardboard for the backing for your backdrop, and when you put all that together, put your train track on. It looks really nice. It gets overshadowed by ginormous backdrop that you can paint and do all kinds of crazy things with. But don't get carried away. Even though it looks good, there's more work to be done that's coming up. Get yourself some L brackets and get them ready for the wall. Then look at the wall, think about where should they go, look at the window, then build more dominoes. Make sure you notch all the obstacles. Something like, window being in the way of your backdrop. Look at it from a distance. Does it fit? Looks like it does. Then build more dominoes. They all gonna line up. Then put those brackets finally on the wall. What were you waiting for anyway? Then put the domino on and then admire the beauty and the genius of your craftsmanship. Wow. And then you just rinse and repeat. More L brackets, more dominoes. This one's kind of narrow because that part of the layout is narrow there too. Again, make sure it's in level. It's N scale. Put more L brackets, more dominoes, and in no time you'll have a whole wall done almost. Then step back and admire your craftsmanship. This is the staging outside the room. And then you enter the room, you look around, and there's a lot of benchwork all of a sudden. There's still a lot more to do, but it looks good so far. You ponder, is there going to be enough room to actually build everything in here? but that comes later. Right now, you just want to put some track on this benchwork and locomotive and couple of cars and see how they fit into the whole scene. As I said, the backdrop does overshadow the locomotives, which kind of gives you an option to paint something mountainous or some landscape, maybe a city. You also look at the aisle widths. It's about 24, 28 actually, 29 inches wide. It's enough for a person to fit through. Then you step to the other side and look to the entrance, and then, wow, it's a lot of empty space that needs to be filled. Then you remember that you have two peninsulas, and so you need two blobs. I said two. And then remember to notch the middle of the surface to put the backdrop through it. Then it's the new year, and you look around and you realize that you made a lot of progress. There are many new benches in the room and many new dominoes. And then you think about filling up some of those small gaps in the alcoves and whatnot. Then you look at the lift out at the electrical cabinet and you think to yourself, I think that's going to be more complicated. It should wait. So let's recap what we have so far. There is the staging and the staging surface outside. Then we see beginnings of one peninsula, actually the two benches that create the longer peninsula. Then there is the second peninsula, and the beginning of that peninsula has two dominoes on top. There are the two ends of the peninsulas, the blobs with the backdrops. There's a short section of 5 feet between the second peninsula and the electrical cabinet. And then we have the entire 22 feet long back wall, including the backdrops that cover the windows. Here you see the aisles are 28 inches wide. It's alright, two people can pass by, depending how big they are, I suppose. The important part is that what you're seeing here is really 2 weeks of work. This was started end of 2019, probably 23rd of December, just before Christmas holidays. And the work continued to around January 5th or 6th, 2020. That's at this point that you're seeing right now. In any case, the next video will continue where we stop. Hope you liked the progress so far. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.